Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This tutorial is to show you how to create a 3D Firefighter gift box. We are going to start with these pieces and you're going to see that these two sections have this arch, if we call it that way, and these other two are straight, and this one has a score line in the middle. So this is going to be the very last piece that we are going to glue, but I'm just going to fold it right away so I don't get it confused with the others. Okay, so from these pieces I'm gonna grab two and this, and I'm gonna fold the score line, the sections that are gonna be glued one to the other one. And these two pieces are to start with the front of the helmet. So I'm gonna use hot glue because that way these pieces get attached immediately and they don't move around while the regular glue is drying. But if you can use any glue as long as it dries quickly. And I'm gonna also be mixing between regular and hot glue depending of the sections or pieces that I'm putting together. So here now I have the front part, and you can kind of see that once they are glued together they have that arch. So now I have these two pieces. They also have to be aligned, so like this. So this is like that, and the same will be with this one right here. It's kind of like creating an M, if we call it that way. So now I have these three pieces together. I'm gonna glue the number 4 on the other side. So one goes on right side and the other one goes to the left side. So this is how the top of the helmet goes so far, and I'm just gonna start adding the pieces that are straight, which are 2, and those are also 1 for each side. now it's time for my next piece, also with the bottom straight. And once you get to this point, you will notice that uh, gluing these pieces is gonna start being a little bit challenging. But you will see that once you have all the pieces, it will look the way that we want it to look. So I will say we have to be a little bit patient at this point because it may be a little bit frustrated. But I think it will depend mostly the type of glue that you use. And maybe you can put something inside to open this kind of bowl that we are creating. That way it will give you more space. So now is the time for the last piece, and this is the one that is gonna become a little bit difficult to glue it, because the other pieces are kind of closing the circle while we are still attaching the last piece. So at least this side will be easy or kind of easy, but then once we close it completely is when we may have a little bit of challenge, because of the space available to glue the pieces, but it's possible to make it. And also, if you have a better technique to put these pieces together, you are welcome to use it too. At the end, the main goal is to have all these pieces together. And also, I highly recommend to make sure you use cardstock 65 pounds, because it's very resistant to this type of movements. So now we are to the point that we need to glue these two pieces, which is, you can see that it can be a little bit of a challenge just because the whole the structure is closing each other. So one option that you can have is to glue it same as I've been doing, and the second one, which is the one I'm gonna use, is I'm just gonna do it from the inside, so I kind of have more space to put my hands in it and manage the sections that I need to be glued. And at the end, don't worry if the top of these pieces is not completely sealed, because with the rest of the pieces that we are going to be using, that part won't be noticeable at all. So I will show you in a minute what I'm talking about. And also, I wanted to show you in this video, so if you get this result, don't feel that you are doing something wrong, because the pieces have the right measurements. It's just that once we start gluing, we may have a situation where we are not able to get all the pieces together, even that they are correctly measured. So I will show you in a little bit how this is gonna look. So you can see here I have it now, and now it's open nicely, but the top you can see that there's a little bit of hole. So the last piece that we attached that has a score line is also a reference, so you know what's the part that goes to the back of the helmet. And all I'm doing here is just making sure all the sections have a glue, even that they are not gonna be noticeable as much as we may think. I still want to make sure that doesn't fall apart later, right? So you can see here that the very top has a little bit a small hole. It is just because with all the movements pieces got separated. So now it's time to put this part right here, and I'm going to fold the sections that we are going to glue. But before that, we need to cut these corners so it's easier to fold those sections once we start gluing this part to the top of the helmet. So I'm gonna fold these pieces this way, and I'm gonna show you again. So there is no way to confuse this section because it's basically according to the shape of the top of the helmet. So once we have it here, make sure also that the back has that score line, and then place your piece down this way. So this part right here is the one that we are gonna start gluing. You can see on the video next to the main video how these pieces or these sections have to be glued to the kind of like main part of the helmet. And if you have any questions about this step, please feel free to reach out. So now these two pieces are attached, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use these small pieces to cover those sections that were used to glue these two pieces together. So you can see on the small video how to do it as well. Okay, so I'm gonna add the rest of the pieces here. Okay, so now this is how the helmet looks so far. So you can see that there are some sections that didn't glue all the way, but as I said, it's not gonna be noticeable at the end. So I'm gonna move and work on the backs, which is the bottom piece, and these two pieces have score lines or sections with score lines actually. And I'm gonna fold them right now. For this part, I'm gonna use just regular glue because there are no complicated areas, and it's easier to manage the movements and everything to make it work just with regular glue. So now I'm just gonna leave these bags alone for a little bit so the glue dries 100% and is ready when I use it along with the helmet. So I'm gonna go back to the helmet now with these pieces, and I want to mention that these pieces have a section right here with the score line, but don't fold it, only this right here, because those sections are just as a reference for what's next. Don't fold this one either, only this. So pretty much the horizontal score lines that you will see on these two pieces are the ones that you do not have to fold. And now we are gonna glue this piece, and I'm gonna start with the front, exactly the center of the front section, and then go from there. And the score line that you have as a reference is pretty much to indicate how far you had to go inside of the helmet to glue it. Before I glue the second piece also, I'm going to kind of glue these corners or sections that are coming from the pieces that I put initially together. That way I have more room to glue my second piece. And again, I'm gonna start from the center. So now it will be time to complete the top part of the helmet. So what I did is add these pieces also to cover the top and also each side of my pieces, and you can see that now it looks more like a firefighter helmet. And all those spaces or anything don't show up anymore, which is great. Okay, so these pieces are also dry, and I can just go ahead and build the entire gift box. It's gonna go just like this. And it's starting to look cute. You can see that the hole that we were able to see on top has disappeared. Now with all these pieces that are also part of a regular helmet. So they are covering very well. So now it's time to touch or work on the front of the helmet. So I'm folding this a little bit like a rounded piece, so it's easier to glue it here. But to get that without having to fold this or make a line, just using the center right here, and then I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue right in the center of the helmet and start from there. And then I'm just gonna add glue on each side of this piece so it has that rounded shape. Now we are going to work with this piece. This one also has sections with score lines. I'm gonna fold them right now. And the next step, I'm gonna cut right here and right here, just where the score lines cross or get together. And then this piece is gonna fold like this, and I'm gonna add glue on each side. And I'm using my clips. They are my best friends because they keep the pieces the way I want them to be while they are gluing together. So I'm gonna do the same with the other side. I'm gonna use clip also. Oh, this one is running away from me. Okay, so let's do it once again. Okay, work. And I'm gonna let this piece dry for a little bit. And while that piece is drying, so I have these kind of glasses or section like this one right here. So the design includes the two pieces, so in case you want to use one or the other one. So if you use this one just as it is, you can just use adhesive foamy dots and glue it just like this. But if you want to use the other piece, I will show you in a little bit how to attach it also to the helmet. So for the front of the helmet, as part of the pieces that are on the SVG design in general, or the entire SVG, so we had these three pieces that kind of simulate fire. And I'm gonna place it right here, I believe, or we can include it on any area. But before that, this piece is already dry, so I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it. So I'm gonna add a little bit of glue, and I'm gonna glue it to the front, just like this. That way this piece is not gonna move at all. And then I'm gonna also add some glue here so it covers the top once again, so you can see that there is no way to see that little hole that we were able to see at the beginning. It's looking nice. So now we can glue this piece right here, which is fire. Like kind of like a layer fire. So I just wanted to show you how it looks once everything is glued together on the inside, so you have a lot of space to put any gift that you want, because it goes all the way to the top of the helmet, so it's a good size. And by the way, the measurements are included on my PDF instructions on this in the zip file folder that you receive once you purchase this SVG. So I think I'm gonna glue it here. I'm kind of deciding. It could be also down here, but the other pieces that I'm gonna add, I think it will be better on top. So that's where it's going to go. So now I'm gonna show you the other way. As I said, this is one of the types, and this is the other one that has a score line to fold the top of the glasses, and that's the part that goes attached to the helmet. Just like this. So let's complete these sections for the front piece. So this is how it's gonna look at the end. For the firefighter section, keep in mind that you are gonna need a pen if you wanna do it with your Cricut. This is also the result of the other type of glasses that are part of the design. They are glued to the top of the helmet, and I'm using kind of like a thick material, but you can use acetate, and it will be a perfect choice, or you can also use cardstock. This is the final result. You can see also these yellow pieces that are part of a regular helmet, or at least the ones I have seen. um, I think it looks pretty at the end. And you have also this section where you can add the name of the person, or the word dad if it's for Father's Day, or depending of the occasion that you are using this gift box for. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you make it, please don't forget to go to Instagram and tag me with Chase Design. Thank you. Have a good one.